Let's do this. Hi, I'm Isa and welcome to our Beats and Pops. This is the second video of this channel. I'm super excited to be back. So for the second video, I actually want to come here and just chit chat a little bit about, why financial freedom, why now, how my partner and I even ended up knowing about what financial freedom is and how to achieve it, and what is our vision of the future. Spoiler alert, we have different visions, but how did we end up agreeing on a plan, and what was the plan that we agreed on moving forward? As I mentioned in my previous and only video, we ended up realizing that we saved a lot more money throughout 2020 than we intended to, if that makes sense. My partner and I were supposed to get married this year in October. We were saving money for it, we were already organizing everything for the party, but come March, with COVID-19 and the whole pandemic, we actually stopped booking services for the wedding, and we just kept putting the money into our bank account, as in like, okay, if we're able to move forward and we believe the party is happening, we have the money so we can book the services, but let's not put any more down payments on this. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and due to us wanting to be safe and not sorry, and just make sure that our family is healthy and not put anyone into unnecessary risks, we decided to cancel the party. So the money we saved for the wedding, plus the fact that we barely got out this year, we didn't really travel or do anything, combined came up to be a very nice savings amount. So that's pretty much how we ended up with more money this year than we usually do. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't like we were thinking about saving for the future or that we wanted to have a percentage of our salaries put away. It was more that we needed to put some money aside if we were going ahead with the wedding party. And on top of it, the fact that we were just not having the same opportunity to spend money as we usually do. A lot of our money actually goes into traveling. We absolutely love traveling. We have a camper van and we just love going around with our dog, and we took it to Wales, we took it to England before in a ferry. It was amazing. We intend to take it to France in the future, so that's where a lot of our spending goes to. Not being able to do any of that throughout 2020, we ended up naturally, organically saving money, which in a way was very good, right? Like, can't complain. I know this was a very hard year for a lot of people. We are very lucky that we work for big tech companies, and that kind of diminishes the risk of us being let go or the companies going down or anything like that due to the pandemic. If your situation was different than ours, my heart goes out to you. I have family and friends who are going through a tough time as well. My mom, she's a business owner, she owns a restaurant, so I know how hard it's been for her, financially and whatnot. So I can think of myself as well. Like 5 years ago, I had no job, no prospect of a job. I literally moved to a country where I knew no one and had no idea what I was going to do here. I literally just jumped and just said, I'm just going to give it a try, give it a shot, and thankfully it all worked out. But imagine if the pandemic had happened at that time, it would be a very different story. So I just want to say we are aware of how lucky we are, and we do not take it for granted, because I know whoever is watching this could have a different story on their side. To sum it all up, we ended up with a good amount of money saved, right, in a bank account. And as I told in the other video, I started to obsessively study about what the hell should I do with this money. I don't want it to be just sitting in the bank account losing value. By researching about where should I invest, what should I do, I came about the whole FIRE movement, and I had no idea. I was living in a bubble. I was one of those people who was just living day to day, not thinking of the future. And I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but I wasn't even contributing the max percentage of my salary towards my pension. And my company matches it. So I was not getting free money just out of not thinking about it. Anyways, when I discovered the whole FIRE movement and I started like inputting numbers into all the FIRE calculators and looking into how much money we have in the bank account, how much we own the bank, because we bought this house, so we do own money, and how much money we earn. The calculators told me my partner and I, we could actually retire in 10 to 13 years. Nothing changing. So considering no increases in salary, considering we still putting the same amount of money every month into investments, so which probably will change. Hopefully it will change. But considering that everything stays the same, we only have to work for another 10 to 13 years. And then we can just do whatever we want. It might be continue to work. It might be travel. It might be go settle down somewhere else. I don't know. That to me was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Because in my head, I was going to work until I was 60. I was actually being hopeful, right? I was being optimistic because I'm supposed to work until 65. But I was like, nah, 60 will be fine. But finding out that I don't actually have to. I can if I want, but I don't actually have to. As long as I'm thinking things through, it blew my mind. And all of this was, although we do have to do some changes to our lifestyle and having to consider it, like just thinking through the decisions that we make moving forward and how we spend our money, right? We have to be more conscious of it. But all the calculations I put in was still like keeping our lifestyle very similar to what it is, right? It's definitely bringing down like buying shit that we don't need. Like, you know, when we just go to like a market and we see trinkets that are cute or something and we just bring them home, or, you know, like we're online and we buy a bunch of running shoes. I'm particularly guilty of that one whenever I see a sale on running shoes. Anyways, just being a bit more conscious about those decisions, we can achieve this. I'm not even saying let's cut down like our expenses like crazy, you know, like we can no longer get coffee from a Starbucks or anything like that. I'm not even saying any of that. All I'm saying is like being a little bit more conscious, we can achieve this. Like I said, mind-blowing. Regarding the plans, the vision and what we agreed to do, my partner and I, we have kind of like different ideas of what we want for the future. For me, I very much would like to move away from Ireland at some point. It's not that I don't love Ireland. I absolutely love Ireland. It's an amazing country with amazing people, but shitty weather. I grew up most of my life, so I grew up between Portugal and Brazil, but most of my childhood was in Brazil, and it was in a city where winter is 26 degrees. It's just that it's raining, but it's still 26 degrees Celsius. I don't know what there is in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry if you're in the States, but that's hot. That's what I'm gonna tell you. And humid. Very, very freaking humid. So for me, in my mind, I will be leaving Ireland in 8 to 15 years tops. For John, my partner, he would stay in Ireland for 15, 20 years at least more, right? Like he absolutely loves it. It's his home country and everything that he loves doing, which is mountain biking, hiking, you know, just running around, cycling and whatnot. These are things that are amazing to do in Ireland. So we have a bit of a contradiction there. However, we did agree that we would love to spend 1 or 2 years just traveling, you know, in our camper van, maybe a bigger camper van because ours is tiny, doesn't have a toilet. So, but go out with our dog in a camper van, just travel around Europe for a year or two. We both agree that we really, really want that. So that's step number 1 for us, is getting there, getting to a point where if we wanted, we could just be like, okay, I'm pausing work for now, I'm pausing all of this for now, and we're just gonna take off and spend a year or 2 traveling. And not to worry about our financial status because everything will be taken care of and all the bills will be paid, no concerns about it. So that's what we agreed on. We agreed that right now we're aiming to get to a point where we can do that in the future. So we're not thinking about if we're going to stay in Ireland, if we're going to leave our jobs or what we're going to do. We're thinking about we want to get to a point where we can travel and not worry about expenses and whatnot. When it comes to practical terms, we calculated our expenses and we calculated how much we can take out, and it turns out we can safely, without worrying about overdrafting, we can safely take 1,000 per month to invest from our joint money. So that's what we agreed on to start with. We're going to do 1,000 per month in investments. Right now, we are not going around our savings rate. I know this is a big thing for the FIRE community and is the main number that you actually should look into. However, we're just learning about all of this, and we're still trying to figure out what we're spending money on and how we're doing and where we can cut those costs. So next year will be more about just tracking all of that. I created like this huge, beautiful, amazing spreadsheet where we're gonna be documenting everything. And then we're just going to learn about ourselves, learn about how we're spending money, learn about our habits. So from then on, then we can start goaling around a realistic saving rate for us. And that's it, guys. I don't want this video to go for too long. I can see it's too long already. I've been recording for over 20 minutes. I'm gonna have to do an amazing job of cutting this down and editing, so it's gonna be fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you do want to hear a little bit more about us and what we're gonna be doing, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. Really, really appreciate it if you do so. Thank you so much. See you next time.